Okay, finally starting there, Yanet. As I said before, this is going to be probably a shorter session than what we would normally have because we're only concentrating on market research. Now, the challenge is because we've only got 12 responses, it's
Mhm.
not quite enough for the vetter to be satisfied that the responses is a fair sample size for
Mhm.
your target audience. So I'm going to suggest that you look at getting, if we can, 30 by sharing the questionnaire link to as many people as you
Okay.
can, friends, family, networks, so that we can have a better response rate to
Okay.
your market research. So the good thing is that you've got it started, you've got 12, that's fantastic. So, what I wanted to do then, if that's the case for today, in terms of the market research component, was go through and outline what needed to be covered in the business plan. So, bear with me because I'm just going to share with
Okay.
you the actual business plan itself. So, I'm going to bring that onto the screen. Here we go. There we go. Hopefully, you can see it coming on your screen soon. Oh,
Yeah.
you got it? Brilliant. So this is it, market research. Now, when we're talking about primary market research, we're talking about the questionnaire, which is the questionnaire you've asked people to do, and you've got 12 responses so far. So what we just need to do is complete the information in this business plan based on the market research that you've completed. And so what I'd normally do is just start off saying, well, include it in the appendix, because in the appendix we can print off the graphs, we can print off the responses and use it as evidence to
Mhm.
validate the information that you're going to supply in your market research. So I would
Mhm.
just carry on, leave that in here, and just say like a total of, so this is where you've got to outline how many has actually completed the survey. So in this case, it's 12, but we want to get 30.
Okay.
Okay. That's our
Okay.
ideal. Now, based on the market research, we're going to outline what some key findings are and key recommendations. So when we look at key findings, we're going to go back to the market research. Let me just bring it back here. Here we go. There's a whole bunch of questions, and each question could be a finding in itself. So, for example, let's look at the first one. There's one finding here. 58.3% of respondents visits the nail salon monthly. That's one
Mhm.
key finding. So what I can do, I'll go in here and just say, based on the market research, and I'm just going to say one key finding, 58% of respondents um, visit a nail salon at at least monthly. So what is that telling you? That tells you that fantastic. People are actually, a good portion of people like getting their nails done on a
Yeah.
regular basis. And particularly the 12 that you've actually already surveyed, if they're already your customers, then that's
Mhm.
even better. Okay. So
Okay.
that's the first finding. Now I'm going to just highlight this because that might change if you get more respondents.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at a second finding. Second finding. The second question. Which nail service do you typically seek? Now, those who responded, 60% of those who responded preferred manicures, 50% prefer pedicures, and 50% prefer gel nails. So that gives you a bit of an idea what type of services you should be focusing on. And those are the three areas: manicure, pedicure, gel nails. So I'm going to
Mhm.
put those as findings. So let's go back to your business plan and just say, okay, 60% of respondents, did they say prefer? What was it? Typically seek, let's use that link, typically seek a manicure, with 50% seeking a pedicure. A further 50% seek gel nail services. So if you go back again to this graph, that's what it's telling us. 6 said manicures, 60% said manicures, 50% said gel, and 50% said nails. And all I did is I put that on the business plan. Okay. Again, I'm just going to highlight those percentages because they might change if you get more respondents.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So we can do a finding for each question. So if you go to number 3, let's number 3, this question here. How does receiving nail services impact your confidence and self-esteem? So 40% moderately and 40% significantly. So that's a total of 80%. So we can add those two together. 80% of those who responded are at least slightly or moderately feel that the nail services slightly or moderately impacts their confidence and self-esteem. So let's put that in. What was 80% of respondents receiving nail services, receiving nail services are at least slightly, if not moderately, impacted. Slightly, if not moderately, impacted. Of 80% of respondents receiving nationals are slightly, if not moderately, impacted. Impact your confidence. Okay. Are impacted. Confidence are impacted by improved confidence. Okay. So again, we can actually put that confidence and self-esteem. So that's 80%. Number 4, this is the question here. How important is the location of a nail salon to your decision making? So somewhat important. Someone said very important. Okay, so we're going to put that here. Somewhat important. So let's put that on here. 60%. 60% about it was somewhat important. And 40% very important. When looking at where nail services are located. So that's going to be important. So if that's important for your client, you already know then in the suburbs around you is where you need to be targeting because that's what they're looking for. Somewhere close, not too far. Let's go to number 5. What is your preferred method for booking nail salon appointments? Online. So 70% would prefer online booking. That's very good because it means you need to have that system in place. 70% prefer to book online. So it means you've got to have an online booking platform because that's how they like to book online. This one, how important is it for nail to use eco-friendly and non-toxic product? Someone said very important. It's 50-50, somewhat important. Okay. So again, we'll just say 50% of respondents about it was somewhat important, and 50% I think it was a very important, wasn't it? Very important to use eco-friendly. Eco-friendly, non-toxic. Non-toxic products. So that means everyone felt that it was somewhat important. So that's why when you're looking at now providing, looking at the type of products you use to provide the service, that's rated quite highly. Okay. Let's look at number 7. Number 7 is this question here. Do you have any skin conditions or allergies? 90% do not have skin or conditions or allergies. 90% of respondents have no allergies or conditions. Okay, let's move on to the next question. How likely are you to recommend your favorite nail salon to others? Very likely. Okay, so that's what 82% respondents would highly recommend referring their nail salon provider. Okay. What else do we have? What is your age group? Okay, so that is 55. Oh, okay. 36 percent of those are 55 years or over. And okay, the two largest groups, if you add those two together, 25, 45, and to say over 55s were the largest groups. 44% of those who responded were over 36% of those who responded were over 55. 36% of who responded were over 55 years of age. Sort of gives you a bit of an idea, mind you, because it's such a small sample size, only 12. If you had more, it might give you a better picture. Okay, now you've got the same thing for hair braiding questions. We did it already for the nail salon, and we go through the same process for hair braiding. So what I'm going to go down over here, I'm just going to say key findings. Number 1, key findings, that's for nail salons, and then you've got different findings for your hair braiding. And then you go through the same process, but for the hair braiding one. I'm going to leave that to you and Ivan to do the hair braiding one, because now that I've showed you how to do the nail salon one, all I did there, Yanet, all I did was look at the graph and interpret. All I did was interpret the graph. That's it. So I looked at the first question: have you ever had your hair braided professionally? 58.3% said no. 41.7% said yes. So if the rest of the questionnaire is not really relevant to those who haven't done it before. You know what I mean? Yes. So only the yeses would have carried on responding. And so the numbers of that case is only 5, although there's other, there might be 4, 5, 6. So this one here, which hair braiding styles are you the most? 44.4% said they preferred box braids. And yeah. And then you can say 22.2% preferred French braids, twists, or other. Okay, so that's what you do, just interpret what the graph is saying. So in this case, 66.7% of those who responded felt it was important for hair braiding service to offer a variety of styles and options. So you just look at the percentage, says it says very important, and then you go back to the question of what it's important about. Okay.
Okay.
So then that makes it a little bit more easier for you to do is go through each graph and then interpret what each graph is saying, what each question is saying. And then we come on here and then we put it on number 1. So this will be number 1 again. And then you go through the same process that I just went through up the top here for nail salon. You go through the same process for the hair braiding. Okay. Because once you've done that, then we can then look at the recommendations based on the findings. So if we go back down to the bottom, I'm going to do some key recommendations for nail salon, given that we've already done the findings. And what are the findings here? Let's have a look at the recommendations. Well, let's have a look at the findings. So 58% of respondents visit a nail salon at least monthly. Okay, so one of the things that you might want to think about doing is 50% visit a salon monthly. What you might want to do is how do you become the preferred provider? You know, I will offer a loyalty card.
Okay.
Where after the 11th visit, the 12th visit is free or something like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Okay, does that make sense? Because it means that you've got repeat business coming up over and over again. Or it might be where the 10th visit, the 11th visit is free or something like that. Okay. So in that way, hopefully you can get them coming back to you. And then number 2, I'll be looking at what else could I look at recommending? Okay, so so manicures, pedicures, gel nail services. Let's go back here. The top services respondents preferred were manicures, pedicures, and gel nail services, which I am offering currently. Because that's what you're offering at the moment, eh?
Yes.
Okay. So that addresses that one. Number 3. I'm not too sure what type of business finding we're going to get from number 3. So I wouldn't put anything down as a finding unless I can use it for business. Perhaps you might want to just send words of encouragement at the end of the service, that you might send a text and say, look, thank you for coming to our business, and just to acknowledge them perhaps. Otherwise, I will look at this one here. Number 4, 60% felt it was somewhat important and 40% very important. We're looking at now where nail service is located. I say it was very important for respondents as to where nail services are located. Therefore, it would be ideal for me to concentrate on those who live in the immediate area. So you're going to be concentrating on promoting to those that are just not too far, because location is really important. Okay, or
Yes.
area. Number 4. It goes. 70% prefer to book online. As 70% prefer to book online. This aligns with our current online booking process where this can happen. So basically, because that's what's happening at the moment, people can already go online onto the salon's website and book online via there. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just highlight that in case that changes. What else? 50% of respondents felt it was somewhat important and 50% very important. So we'll just say all respondents felt that it was important, at least important, to use eco-friendly, non-toxic products. All respondents felt that it was at least somewhat important. Somewhat important to use, yeah, which means in my case, so in your case, all your products are eco-friendly, toxic-free, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Eco-friendly and non-toxic. Um, 90% of respondents have no allergies. Okay, so I probably wouldn't worry about that one. 82% of respondents would highly recommend referring their nail salon provider. So the good thing about that is 82% would be happy to refer their nail service provider. And this is where you can offer some type of incentive.
Yeah.
I will offer a, I don't know, referral discount. Could be like referral fee or referral, like it could be even just a discount of their next service of 20% off their next service. I don't know, it might not be. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. If you're
Yeah,
wanting to
it's
change
good.
it, but it gives you a bit of an idea. Just
Yeah,
making
it's
sure
very
that,
good.
yeah, so making sure whatever we've said in here, it's got to be consistent with what we've said in the business plan and the marketing plan component. So if you're going to be offering this, we've got to also mention that in our marketing plan as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I'm highlighting it for you. And what else? 30% of those who responded were over 55 years of age. Let me just skip to the age one again. And 18.2% over 45. Okay. And 18.2% over between 45 to 55. Okay, so that when you start adding those two, it's that's a total of what's that? Say 18%, 54%. Which is a good market to target, as their disposable income tends to be higher. In other words, they've got more money. The older age group tend to have a little bit more money. to
Mm-hmm.
spend. And that's
Yeah.
why we're going to be looking to target, well, 54% of them is at least 45 above. That's a good indication that perhaps, if we focus on that age group in your area, because they're more likely to have more money to be able to come back to you month after month, that would be
Yeah.
a good one to target. Okay. So now that we've
Okay.
done that, we've done the key findings already for the nail salons, and I've put down 9 key findings based on those graphs. Okay. What you guys will need to do is do the same thing, key findings, but for the hair braiding part of the
Okay.
questionnaire. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we've also done, because of the recommendations. Now the recommendations for the nail salons based on the findings that are outlined here. Okay. So what we did was come up with some of those key findings. Actually, I forgot to put the age in here. Let me just put that age one. I thought I did. Did I accidentally delete it? Okay, I must have. So let's do it again then. Sorry. 36% and 18%. Let me just do it. 36% and I thought I did have it there, eh? Oh, never mind. And 18% of those of respondents are over 55 years, and 18% are between 18 to 36. Oh, 18%, between, sorry, 45 to 55 years. I'm having a brain moment of age. This is a good market to target due to their higher level of income, higher level of disposable income. Okay, that's it. I'm going to make sure I think it is saved automatically, which is wonderful. Okay. So that's it. That's the primary market research. Now, all you guys need to do now is the hair braiding.
Okay.
Okay, for the recommendations, but also you need to do the hair braiding for the not for the recommendations. Oh, yes, it is for the recommendations, but for the findings as well as the recommendation. So it's both. Okay, so I'll leave that and for you guys to do. The next part is going through the secondary market research. Okay, so we've just got to highlight here how you're doing your research data. Okay, so for example, actually, I would put that under here, Cat. I'm going to say, okay, so we have researched the demographic and population for our region. Our region. And this is where we can start looking at, the percentage. Look, females, that's where, as we are primarily targeting female population, in the Wellington city area. What this actually shows, how many, is that thousands? What does that show you? Percentage of population by age and gender. 23.6% are between 30 and 64 years of age. This will be one demographic group we will target and we will target. Okay. So it gives you a bit of percentage. Now, while it's good for percentage, it would be good to actually have raw data. Like how many does that mean in total? So that's what I would be able to find out if I were you. So I say try to find out the population numbers for Wellington. Because this is only that graph only gives you the percentage. It doesn't give you raw numbers. So it says there's 23% of 23% of what? We don't know what the what is. So we just need to find out what that is. Now market size and growth potential. In fact, market size and growth potential. This is why we need to have the population numbers for Wellington to put in here. Okay, let me just say cut. We want it there. Because if we know, like for example, if the population of Wellington is, for example, so 20, 30, 40, if it's like 100,000, then 23,000 of them will be women aged between 30 and 64. So that gives you a big opportunity on how or understanding of how big your market size is. Let me just have a look at ChatGPT and see if they've got so what is the population of Wellington City? See if it comes up with anything. So see, searching the web, it's trying to search a web. Okay. So population of Wellington City, 202,689. Okay. So that's quite large because we know that 23% of them. Let me just have a look at the source. Wellington Wikipedia. Okay, so we can just source it. Wellington Wikipedia. This is why it's important that you write down where your sources here. So that okay, this is so we found out the current population of Wellington City according to, and this is where we can then reference it. Where did I have it? According to the according to Wikipedia. Oh no, they said it was according to New Zealand census 2023 census is 200 and about 203,000. Okay. So with having 203, it's a bit closely, but 203,000 with 23.6% being our target market. This means, so we can say, well, this means a potential market size of, and let's do 23.6% of 203. If I was to work that on a calculator, let me just get the Excel spreadsheet up to work that out for you. 203,000, 23.6%. Let's work that out times. Okay, a potential market size of almost 48,000 women between the ages of, what did we say those ages was? 30 to 64. 30 to 64 years of age. Okay, so that then tells the vetter, well, that's a big, huge, a lot of women that you could potentially target, So again, that gives a bit of confidence for the vetter that is the case. So we might be able to see where they can give us some more information. So, okay, so what percentage of the population of the Wellington city population is aged between 34 to 60 years. Did we say 34 to 60? Let's have a look. Was it 65 to 64? Years old. Now, which suburb are you actually in? What's the name of the suburb?
The shop or
Yeah, the shop.
Will Street.
Willis Street. Oh, it is on the
Yes.
city. Okay, so we're going to say, how many nail salons are there on Willis Street, Wellington, and in surrounding locations within 2 kilometers of Willett Street. So hopefully it might bring it up 2 kilometers of Willis Street. See, okay. Oh, 9 and been composed of 46 of wild Pacific. Of course, I forgot to say females up here. Let me just copy this first. Copy, because, okay, I'm going to change that. How many are women of this age? Yeah, I said that. About 40 something thousand. Where is it? Did I say 48,000? So I was correct. Okay. Okay. Now let's get see how many nail salon providers there are in Wallace Street and surrounding locations. There are several, and within here are notable options. So now it's going to write down all the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Many of
Okay.
them. Yeah.
So just say there's at least 8 providers in the immediate area.
Mm.
We know there are at least 8 nail salon providers in the local area. However, given the our target audience, we believe there is a big enough audience. We believe there is a large enough target audience, target market to share with other competitors. In other words, because there's such a large size and there's only about, let's say, 10 to 12, there's plenty enough. There's plenty enough for you and your competitors to be serviced. And that's what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So yeah, if you could, that's it. I think that's it. Can my potential customers afford my product? Now, one of the things you didn't have in your primary questionnaire was a pricing question. And it would have been good to have a pricing question, but look, this is going to be very subjective. Can my potential customers afford my product or your services? And you can just make a comment that based on my actually, let me say oh gosh, sorry. Sorry, I just realized there's some noise outside. I'm just going to close the door. I won't be long.
Okay. Yeah. I can't hear you, Lisa.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
There
okay.
we go. I'm glad you reminded me. Okay, so what we can do here is say based on my review of competitor pricing, I believe my my current pricing is affordable. Okay, excellent. So that's it. That's all. I think that's all we needed to cover off today.
Uh,
There. Okay, so we've already covered the marketing plan. I've now just covered off the market research. What you need to do with the market research, as I said before, you need to get at least 30. 12's
that's
just not
okay.
enough. Okay, so we
Yes.
get 30.
Okay.
And once we've got 30, then we can update the percentages based on what comes out in the
Okay.
graph. Okay, so
Okay.
we update the
Okay.
percentages. You and Ivan are going to do the key findings and recommendations for the hair braiding part of the questionnaire.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that to you. But at least we've done the
Okay.
recommendations for the salon, which means you can follow the same format for hair braiding when you do that. Okay.
Okay.
And also we've just did some commentary on secondary market research. If there's any other data or research that you've guys undertaken, then that would be fantastic. If not, that's fine as well. We can just leave with what we've got here. Okay. But that's
Okay.
it. I think next week will be the last one. It'll be financials. Once we finish
Okay.
that, then brilliant. But in the meantime, try to get those market research numbers up. That will be
Uh-huh.
wonderful. Okay, there,
Okay.
Yanet.
Okay.
Just like to say thank you
Okay.
very much for your
Thank you
time there,
so
love,
much.
and I'll
Okay.
send
Thank
a
you.
link for next week.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you so
then.
much. Have a good day.
Okay, see you
Bye.
later.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.